As noticed from the intro, we just walked into the French River Walk, the park here, and this is just a small example of the damage that's happened here in the greater western North Carolina area. When I pan around, you're going to see, first off, that tree there with the roots just ripped up. And then as I come down, you'll look right here, that's part of a sewage system. You know, that's part of the piping for waste and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to spin around here. Look up there. You got yourself a tire. You got yourself the lid to a storage container. Some various wood. More piping over here. Now look at the amount of trees down. And all the damage here. Now what's amazing is how some structures survived. Like this pavilion, this little gazebo pavilion spot. But it looks like the bathroom survived. For the most part. Don't know what the inside looks like. But then you look at this. All this stuff that was washed down river. You know, there's some of these. That's the door to somebody's house right there. We're going to walk up this way just a little bit. These guys are probably not happy I'm walking through here. Let's walk back to this sign here, get a good look at that. So, Carrier Park and Hominy Creek Park, 2.4 miles. So, think about that. This whole river right here runs through the vast majority of western North Carolina, all the way down south to South Carolina. Where Union Mills is at in Thermal City, you have two sections of the Broad River. And look at this, storage container right there. Whole trail washed out right there. Pan around. Somebody's refrigerator right there. This is part of the boardwalk that ran through here and the bike trail system. And yeah, you guys, this is the reality. This bridge is lucky to still be standing. Look at that down there. This is just, it's unfathomable to think about the amount of destruction that happened here in western North Carolina. You know, they're reporting that they're still finding bodies in warehouses. They're finding, a guy on TikTok said the other day that they found 4 bodies in a minivan over in Swannanoa. You know, this Hurricane Helene and what the dams did with the flooding absolutely destroyed this area. And it's 2 months. It's November 19th. You know, it's been 2 months, almost 60 days. And even the park here, they haven't even begun to put back together. It's definitely heartbreaking. And yeah, I'm putting my own personal feelings into this when I shouldn't. But the truth be told, you know, emotionally, this is heartbreaking. And just imagine what the residents of Buncombe County and western North Carolina are going through. All this dirt, all this sand, this shouldn't be here. It's a good foot or two, even taller in some areas, where it's a deposit. I mean, I'm only 5'3", so let's walk over that mound right there. Get a good look. Now, of course, this is where they piled it up, clearing the path out, doing what they can, but it's all just soft sand that came downriver when this place flooded. Look at that. Now I'm 5'3", and this sits about chin high. So they've piled up about 4 feet worth of sand right here. And there's a good 1.5 feet, 2 feet worth in some areas. Down to a foot, but then down to the base level. And look at this. I mean, This trash can sits on that concrete piece right there. But look at that, the grill. Ripped up. With the concrete still attached to it. That's crazy. That is so crazy. And blazing a little trail through here. I'm not going in there. I think I know what this is. Erosion control project. Whew, I thought this was a little bit different. I'll be honest with you, I thought these were body markers, you guys. Well, I stopped for a second. Okay, these are erosion control project little things. So, don't know what good that's going to do at this point. Who knows? Been a little bit sickly lately. Weather here gave me a cold. Or somebody gave me a cold, and I caught a little bit of bronchitis. It takes me a minute to get my breath, even when I'm walking. So I'm not like choking in the camera. Yeah, this is actually really... I'm sometimes lost for words on what I'm seeing here. The amount of destruction. I'm not trying to repeat the same word over and over again. But, guys, there's only so many ways you can describe this. Oh, excuse me. Okay, I'm back. Like you guys even knew I was gone. Look at that. Look at the way the trees are just ripped up. Now, I've seen this in other parts of the country, and even here in the mountains before, with just little storms that come through, uproot a few trees. You know, it happens with storm damage. But the water, the way it uprooted these trees and just destroyed this area, as I said before, there's only so many ways you could describe it. And you know, I'm not even showing some of the stuff in other areas yet. You know, I think it's really important to note that there are still areas where people are going in with donkeys. There's areas where people are still going in with ATVs and horses to get supplies into people. And, you know, there's a lot of inaccessible areas due to this storm damage and to what Helene did back in September. Look at that. There's some trash there. But, you know, you think about this here. You know, it's trash now, but this was somebody's life at one point. Somebody enjoyed having drinks in that and you making use of it at the game or at work on the back of their truck. Now it's down here somewhere on the side of the river. Does it say on there, Lords? Almost looks like part of somebody's fencing. Yeah. Bottles right there. You'll notice I'm not touching a lot of stuff or handling a lot of things. One, that's because a lot of stuff here is still toxic, and there's more part. Well, that's part of the park bench right there. So that may have been part of the park bench right there. But look at that. That's all just mingled up in with each other. And they've only cut an area for you to walk through. They haven't actually cleared it or piled it. Go down this way first. Now, looking on maps and certain features that are around here, there is a dog park that was here, and I'm assuming this was the dog park right here. This is what Google Maps said. Google Maps said this is where it was located. There was a trash bin right there. See the pole? Trash. Yeah, large dogs. Dog park. And it's gone. More tires piled up. And then just more devastation of trees down, further down. And as I've mentioned before also, all this sand out here doesn't belong here. This is all deposited by the river. According to people, it comes from the mining activities up here. Mainly lithium mining. And it's highly toxic. There's a lot of chemicals in it. There was a chemical plant somewhere up in here that I'm looking for on the maps to go and view, that was completely demolished when Helene and the floodwaters came through here. And a lot of that waste and chemicals, came down this way. It came through the waters and redeposited on the sidewalk and all this sand. Which is also why I'm not doing any metal detecting. But also, who knows what you might turn up. Might find something really good, worth keeping. Or might get a really bad chemical burn from something. I'm from here, probably going to loop back around. I don't really see. It looks like people might have been cutting a path through here. I'm also walking up in this sand I was just talking about. And you can see how high it is. I mean, I pointed that out down there, 4 feet at least, piled up. And this one almost looks like it's a good 2 to 3 feet right in here in some areas. Now, you can see how strong this water was. And if anybody out there is telling you, oh, Asheville's okay, Buncombe County's okay, Western North Carolina's okay. No, they're not okay. And this is part of the proof of the pudding, you guys. They are not okay. I mean, look at that life jacket. Well, let's talk about that real quick. I mean, when the water was coming through here, if someone's caught in that water, these cables Could have cut them right in half. That life jacket may have kept that person above water, but that could have been somebody who died right there. I don't have proof of that, but this is just an example. I mean, this is what people are finding all over. They're finding life jackets and coats, not even at ground level like this here. They're finding them 30 feet up in the trees. Here's more someone's livelihood or life right here. Another fridge. I mean, it's a small college style fridge or hotel fridge. I mean, this is just absolutely insane. How much devastation Hurricane Helene caused here in western North Carolina. Well, my mouth is just gaping open looking at some of this. Gaping open in disbelief, to be honest with you. And debris all the way up there on the hillside. You know, this is what the corporate media is not showing you. This is what corporate media is not telling you. I mean, they pretty much have stopped talking about western North Carolina and what's going on here and how bad it is. And guys, wait till you see. If you come here, just wait. You'll see. You have some crews over there working. Not sure exactly what they're doing, but you know, this water went all the way up above that embankment right there, right into those businesses. So I'm actually going to turn around here and head back to the truck. Look at how the grass is laid down. That's from heavy water. And when I say heavy water, I mean it's gushing through here. It's not light. Yeah, that's real heavy. This wasn't a light trickle of water just coming through. No, this was gushing through here at a rapid amount of speed. I mean, look at the trees. It's obvious. Look how they were ripped up and torn. And then when you add in all the debris that's in it, like that storage container you saw upriver here, you know, it's amazing anything survived. But it did. I'm going to stop this here. So, yeah, like I said, it's amazing anything survived. And I'm not to keep repeating myself, but I'm lost for words at times. You know, it's one thing to see it on TV and to hear about it for about a week. To come and see it, to come and view it, that's a whole nother ballgame, you guys, to be honest with you. I mean, like I said, corporate media is not really covering this anymore, and they're not telling the whole truth. I mean, they keep saying 245, 200 and something bodies that are lives that were lost. But yet, as I mentioned before, in one TikTok video I just recently saw, they found 4 bodies in a minivan over in Swananoa. They've been finding bodies in warehouses and buildings. They didn't know were there. Now, I don't smell any dead bodies out here. I'm pretty sure anybody that was left dead laying out here was picked up a while ago or found by what little bit of search and rescue cadaver dogs were used. But truth is, in a lot of reports I've heard, FEMA pulled out. They stopped search and rescue efforts after that fake report of militias wanting to go after them. And there hasn't been a lot except for volunteers, as we've seen, as I've been reporting. You know, it's really been up to the people of North Carolina, the residents, or the volunteers coming in from out of state. So, hold on, you guys. Need a moment to catch my breath. But it's really been, as I was saying, volunteers from out of state coming to help the people here. Volunteers like myself. You know, it's going to take a couple of years for this region to recover. And even then, some places may still not be fully recovered. When you're talking about entire businesses, livelihoods that were wiped out by this flooding, you know, who knows if they'll be able to recover. When you're hearing reports of the federal government coming in and asking to buy their land at market value, which in some cases only $2,500, then you know they're not going to recover because the government's trying to do a land grab. Folks, I really pray for the people here in Western North Carolina. I hope, and I really hope, that government officials get their you-know-what straight and start coming together to help these folks. You know, but from what I've seen, from what some of you have seen, that's not going to happen. Not today, not tomorrow. And unfortunately, the ball is in our court. You know, the ball is in the court of the volunteers and of the people of Western North Carolina to put their foot down, say no, and we will not be intimidated. We will not be bullied. We will not sell our land to you, and hold it firm, which is a lot of what they're doing. As winter starts approaching, today's kind of cloudy, overcast, here on November the 19th, and winter's going to be setting in real soon. A lot of folks out there are just sleeping in tents or sleeping in their cars, which adds a whole nother aspect of a problem for North Carolina. In North Carolina, it's actually illegal to sleep in your car. It is illegal to live in your car. It is illegal to build a vehicle or own a vehicle for the purpose of living in it and camping in it. Now also, in most jurisdictions and statewide, it is illegal to post a tent up, to live in a tent. I've even read some laws that were passed that it's illegal to carry a backpack with a tent on it for the purpose of living out of it. You know, I don't know what the residents here are going to do, because they have voted in the politicians who passed these laws. And now they're looking at the fact that they have to live a homeless life for a little while, if not for a long while, but yet be subjugated to the very policies they voted for. And this is not a knock on Western North Carolina. It's just pointing out a fact of reality, okay? A fact that what you do in politics can vastly, harshly affect you later on down the road. You know, you got thousands of people here who are displaced with nowhere to go. FEMA's not really giving any kind of assistance whatsoever. I mean, $750, which I have a video I'm going to be posting soon, part of a longer series about this area, where I got told a lot of people here haven't gotten that check. And to be honest with you, if that's true, you know, what is FEMA really doing? Are they really helping the people in North Carolina? Absolutely not. As I reported on and with some of my TikTok videos, I was treated hostilely by one of the places I volunteered at, one of the relief centers, sending out supplies and buying campers for people for just being a patriot. You know, the owner of the church was very adamant at that fire that night. No patriotic gear, certain types of logos, certain types of viewpoints, no Trump attire. So it led me to wonder, you know, after what FEMA did in Florida, and immediately came out on Fox News reports and a few other news reports, that they did skip and didn't go to patriotic type houses, Trump supporters. They went and helped people that were of the left side of the agenda. And this FEMA person said that it was ordered by the Biden and Kamala administration. So obviously the left and FEMA started attacking patriots and patriotic people before they even had their facts straight of what was going on, and decided to hurt the people of Western North Carolina over those what is the word I'm looking for, you guys? Misrepresentation of truth? I mean, because that's really what they did, okay? It's definitely a gross misrepresentation of truth. It's slandering an entire populace and community of people who care about this country. I mean, outright slandering them. So, you know, there were no militias up here fighting FEMA or chasing them down or hunting them down. That was such a lie. And you can see the people are devastated for it. You know, they're hurting, and they're hurting over lies, over misrepresentations, mistruths. Walking between some machinery here. Give me a minute here, you guys. You know, in my honest opinion, although I shouldn't post them even because it's supposed to be kind of neutral, right? But my honest opinion, the federal government would get their thumbs out of you-know-what and actually do something. This stuff behind me, this debris right here, and all the stuff around Western North Carolina would get done a lot faster without volunteer help. But we know we can't rely on the government like that. And we know that when it really comes down to it, we the American people, as it states in the Constitution, we the people, it's up to us. You know, it's up to us to get this word out, to speak about what's happening here, and to show the damage and keep it fresh in people's minds. Because, you know, as much as we want to have a McDonald's commercial mindset, you know, what I mean by that is the length of a McDonald's commercial is all you can pay attention to, and then move on to the next thing and forget about the last. We're only going to be hurting ourselves more. We really need to keep this going. Keep what's going on here in Asheville and Western North Carolina out there in people's minds. Because as winter sets in, these people are going to be freezing. They are going to be hungry. And they're going to be fighting the federal government and the state government to keep their land, to keep their property. You know, these people here, they have a lot of pride. The mountain people in North Carolina are extremely strong and resilient. They're not going to leave. They're not going to give their land up like that. And those that do, well, it's probably because they just don't see any reason in fighting anymore. And it's you, the government, both local, state, and federal, that did that to them. Because you didn't come for their aid. I was given an address for FEMA, and I got to go over there and see if they're still there and there's still trailers. There's still trailers there. Why haven't they been given out to people? Why don't I see as much more National Guard and help? I've been here for almost a month now, and I've barely seen any National Guard. And the ones I have seen, I posted on some videos. Why isn't there more services being out there for being given to the people instead of handouts, $2,500 checks, $750 checks? You know, why isn't the government helping these people to keep their land and only offering it to buy it? Is it because the place is so polluted now? All the chemicals from everything that got washed down the river and what's in the sand behind me? Is there a more dire threat like nuclear radiation that got spilt from a truck? You know, we've heard those reports, and they're not just one of them. So I'm going to leave you guys with this thought on this video. If it quacks like a duck, if it looks like a duck, it ought to be a duck. And there's too many people out there on TikTok and YouTube who are here in Western North Carolina reporting on these things. And, you know, that many people, it's obviously a duck. Something's going on. And it's something we need to pay attention to. Guys, till next time, loving ya.
Continue on Lyman Street for 1 mile. In a quarter mile, at the traffic circle, take the first exit and stay on Lyman Street. In 600 feet, at the traffic circle, take the first exit onto Depot Street. Take the second left, then you will arrive at your destination. Take the next left.